Today we're going to be working on something that I didn't think was possible in Minecraft 1.13. Let's go back in time quickly. When the first snapshot started releasing for the update Aquatic, they included the feature of waterlogged blocks, and these waterlogged blocks were movable using pistons, which I then placed into flying machines, and, well, let's just say I caused some issues, so they removed it. But it still seems to exist in the game. You see, the other day I was on the Psycraft server who play in Minecraft 1.12, and they were showing me their ice path making machine making use of armor stands wearing Frostwalker boots to create movable water sources. That's very cool, but then someone saw that video and tweeted me saying that there's a thing that you can do in Minecraft 1.13 which makes movable water sources even easier. So here I have a little test setup, and if we just power this piston, then as you can see, well, the water source gets broken, it doesn't get moved. That's not very exciting. However, if we power it quickly, it does get moved. But it has to be pushed directly by a sticky piston. So for example, if we retract it, as you can see, the water source gets broken. So this is interesting. It has its quirks, and I reckon we can work around these things to make something interesting. I mean, how finicky is this? Okay, so it has to literally be pushed by the sticky piston, and that's it. It can't even be pushed by a slime block. Alright, okay. Yeah, I got my work cut out. You see, what I really want to do is I want to recreate the griefing machine that I built in the snapshots of 1.13, just because that's just a fun machine, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. And you know what? It might not actually end up being that difficult. Because if I place in blocks like this, I mean, in theory, this could be it. We've got water sources there. The water sources then spread onto the slime blocks, creating a water source there. And then as the flying machine goes past, we'll then have a water source there, which will then flow out to these blocks and connect up with the other water sources that are in this area here. I mean, this could be us sorted, which is terrifying. Right, so if we remove this redstone block, that should shift our entire machine across. Now, I've just realised, so that needs to be covered as well, to make sure that... yeah, because we don't want the water to flow down there. I'm trying to think how this is actually going to function. Maybe we should build up a few of them and then start actually running them, and then we'll see how well this actually works. Except in its current state, that totally wouldn't work. So I have now gone back to the drawing board, and I've created this thing right here, which basically creates a large platform underneath all of these sticky pistons and everything like that to help spread the water. So that means that we can now build up flying machines in a line without them connecting up with one another. Because originally there was slime and everything like that on the sides, and that would have caused issues because all of the flying machines would have stuck together. Whereas now, if we build these up next to one another, we can just expand this across in a long line and create massive infinite water sources. We're going to start things off relatively small here, but I've got all of the water in place, and in theory this should function. I'm really hoping it does, because otherwise I'm going to be massively upset. Here we go. Okay, not the best of starts. Give me a second. Maybe if I try lighting up the top. Okay, there we go. Oh. We are in Minecraft 1.13.2, and the griefing machine has returned. Oh dear. Oh no. That's not good. I mean, it's brilliant because look how cool this thing is, but it could potentially be a problem. I mean, yeah, it's not the best of signs, is it? Well, I mean, the machine definitely functions, but we can definitely go bigger too. We might have a slight issue with cloning things in, because for some bizarre reason the observers actually fire when you do that, which seems really, really backwards to me. Yeah, I mean, that breaks a lot of stuff. It's definitely times like these where I really miss MC Edit. With that being said, I've worked out a fairly simple fix, which is to remove all of the slime blocks that are in front of observers. So as you can see, as we copy and paste this across, all I then have to do is fill in all of the slime blocks that the observers would have originally powered, and then we can actually get this thing up and running. This is looking quite impressive already. I would say this is probably big enough. So we are starting from block 66, and we're going right the way across, all the way over to block 10. So we have got 56 blocks of water that are going to be generated by this thing all the way across the landscape. And I gotta say, I cannot wait to see it flying. But we are quite a long ways off from that. The first thing that I've got to do is obviously replace all of the slime blocks that got removed. And now I've got to start hooking them up to their own flying machine systems. Now, I've been thinking about this. Instead of having just... do I want it as just one flying machine? Just one monstrous thing? Or should we make it a bunch of separate ones that get activated all at once? Oh, I think it has to be one flying machine. I mean, it just looks so much cooler when it's like that. And to actually make it work properly... I forgot to remove the slime blocks. What I was meaning to say was, and to make it work properly, I've actually got to make it even bigger, so that we have an even number of modules. Okay, so we've got 2... So we're now down to a point where we just have to connect up these 4 systems together. But they're really far apart, so we kind of have to create like a tree of slime blocks coming into one central point, and then the actual flying machine is going to go in the middle here that pulls it along. I do love these things. Bit of a progress update. I've now managed to get it down to 2 things that we need to attach to, so you can see that kind of mess of observers and slime blocks there. So now all we have to do is create a system which connects these ones up together, and that should actually be easy enough. I mean, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's fine. And then run that into the middle there, add in some observers on either side, and then we just need to connect up those 2 things into the flying machine, which will be easy as pie. Now, when it comes to the actual flying machine itself, I think it's safe to say that it's going to be a fairly slow one. You see, we have got a lot of piston action happening in this thing right here, and if you make the flying machine too fast, then there's not enough time for the pistons to actually do their thing. So if you think about it, if it takes, say, I don't know, 10 ticks for this entire flying machine to move a block, but we have 20 pistons in there, there's not enough time in the block movement for the pistons to do their thing. I don't know if that made any sense. Did that make any sense? Let me know down in the comment section. Anyway, time to back up the world and actually give this thing a go. I think it goes without saying that I'm incredibly nervous at this point in time. Generally with flying machines, they don't work the first time that you use them, but let's just give it a shot. So grab our flint and steel and fire. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy, it actually functions. And that's about the right speed as well. That's pretty spot on. And oh goodness me, yeah, no, it is creating... It's definitely creating infinite water sources as it goes along. Oh no. I mean, I love this thing, but I also hate this thing. I feel so guilty. I do feel guilty for showing this. Because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it should be in the game, really. Oh boy. I mean, we are creating an ocean right now. Oh, I so want to build this on the Hermitcraft server. Just do it over Iskal's base, just to really wind him up. I mean, it's evil. It is evil, because that will take so long to remove. So long. Yeah, and it just keeps going. I mean, that's the thing. Until it crashes into something, it's going to keep going. So if you built this at y equals 256 and then just sat in a boat, and this would then, it would go forever. It would literally go forever. In fact, I've actually just done some maths here. I mean, this thing moves at roughly about 1 block every 3 seconds. And if you were to sit on that boat for 1 full day, 24 hours, then you would cover 28,800 blocks in water. That's a lot. And on that rather horrifying note, I think it's time to end. Now, I was going to put a world download down in the description, but I think for the safety of all Minecraft servers worldwide, I'm going to have to destroy this one. You know what? I do feel a lot better now that that's happened, but I mean, oh gosh, it can't even be destroyed. Oh no! Well, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please roll to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo. I'm out. I'll see you later.
One.